Welcome to Byte-Sized Tech. So let's talk about AI. It feels like we're living in this wild time, right? On one side, you've got this incredible excitement, this promise of a productivity revolution. And on the other, there are these deep-seated fears about a market bubble, global conflict, and a total shakeup of how we work. So yeah, let's dive right into this paradox.
This is the billion-dollar question, maybe the trillion-dollar question, really. It's rattling markets, it's shaking up boardrooms, it's all anyone on the trading floor is talking about. The noise is just getting louder and louder. We're seeing absolutely record-breaking investments and stock prices, but at the same time, we're hearing these constant warnings about a bubble that's about to pop. So what is actually going on?
You can pretty much boil this whole thing down to two completely different stories. You've got the bull case, which is pretty simple. This is the next industrial revolution, and if you get in on the ground floor, the returns are going to be unbelievable. But then you have the bear case, and the bears see a market that's just fueled by pure hype, where money is just kind of sloshing around between a few huge companies creating this massive bubble. Let's start with the bears and the view from Wall Street.
To really get why people are so nervous, you've got to look at the numbers and what the folks who get paid to manage billions of dollars are thinking. And let me tell you, right now, they are getting pretty nervous.
And wow, we actually have a hard number on this now. According to a recent Bank of America survey, a majority of fund managers, we're talking 54%, now believe that AI stocks are officially in a bubble. This isn't just random chatter anymore. That's a huge shift in professional opinion.
So what's got them so spooked? Well, a big part of it is this number, 28. That's the forward price-to-earnings ratio for the tech-heavy NASDAQ 100. That's just a fancy way of saying stocks are way more expensive than they've been, on average, for the last 10 years. Investors are paying a huge premium betting on insane future growth. And that is a classic, textbook sign of a frothy market.
And check this out. It shows you just how widespread this whole thing has become. It's not just Wall Street analysts whispering in a corner anymore. When you have CEOs and CFOs, the big bosses, publicly talking about frothiness on their own earnings calls, yeah, that's when you know the anxiety has gone mainstream. They're asking the same questions we are. Is this real, or are we headed for a cliff?
Okay, but the whole story isn't just about money and markets. There's this whole other layer of pressure, because the race for AI has kicked off a brand new kind of global conflict, a tech Cold War. But the weapons aren't missiles, they're microchips.
And this right here, it lays out the back and forth perfectly. It's a classic tit for tat. The US and Europe hit Chinese chip makers with sanctions to slow them down. So what does China do? It hits back by restricting exports of rare earth minerals, which, by the way, you need to make those chips. The West puts tariffs on steel, China slaps fees on shipping. It's just this vicious cycle of economic warfare.
So what's the bottom line here? It all comes down to a fight for control over the physical stuff that makes AI work. Whoever controls the flow of semiconductors and the minerals you need to build them, well, they're holding all the cards for the future. All right, we've talked about the Wall Street hype, the global political drama, but what happens when the rubber meets the road? What happens when a real company tries to actually use all this amazing AI tech? Well, that's when you get a serious reality check. For any business out there, it really comes down to a massive choice. Do you go AI native, which basically means you burn it all down and rebuild your entire company from scratch around AI? Or do you do what most companies do and try to layer AI on top of all the clunky old systems you already have? That second path, it's a lot slower and way, way harder.
And this is where a really key insight from May Habib, the CEO of Ryder, comes in. She says true AI adoption isn't about just handing out shiny new productivity tools to your employees. It has to be this huge, top-down mission driven by the CEO. You need a clear vision. You have to completely rewire how your business works from end to end, and it all has to be focused on big, game-changing results.
And I think this is such a critical point. You can't just treat AI like it's another software upgrade, like you're rolling out the new Microsoft Office. It is a massive business transformation, not just some IT project you can hand off to the tech department. And the companies that don't get that, they're the ones seeing their AI projects fail to deliver any real return.
So, we've gone through the market craziness, the global power struggles, the boardroom strategies. But what does all this actually mean for you and me? For everybody just trying to do their job? Well, it really all boils down to one ultimate question.
And this is the real question, the anxiety that's at the very heart of this whole AI paradox. Are these incredible new tools going to make us better, smarter, and more productive? Or are they just coming for our jobs? That's the debate that's happening right now in every single industry on the planet.
But maybe this is the most powerful way to think about it. The CEO of 11 Labs, Monte Stanishevsky, he completely reframes the debate. He says it's not about humans versus machines. The real competition, he suggests, is going to be between the people who learn how to use these powerful new tools and the people who don't. So the question isn't whether AI will replace you, it's whether a person using AI will. If you enjoyed this episode, please like, comment, share, and subscribe.